We're off for a morning walk to visit our congressional delegation. And so now we're going to have a guided tour of the Capitol building with one of the Capitol guides who's going to take us around, show us the paintings, monuments and statues, and explain a lot of the history here in this building. It's a fabulous Capitol building.
All right, everybody. First of all, welcome to the Capitol. My name is Jonathan. Feel free to call me John if you'd like. And folks, it turns out I'm from Hilo, Hawaii. So, yeah, so welcome to the Capitol. They didn't select me especially to give you the tour, but it's nice how things tend to work out. George Washington placed the cornerstone September 18th, 1793, and Congress was required by law to be here in 1800. Okay. All right, follow me down the corridor. We're going to see the old Senate chamber here. Okay, folks, right now we're in the old Senate chamber. In 1810, when the Senate first moved into this particular space, we had 17 states. Old Senate today is, they can use the room for closed meetings. In the years after the Senate left, it was used by our Supreme Court for 75 years. Now, let's head back to the Rotunda. Okay, right this way. Okay, now we're in the Rotunda. It was the third section of the Capitol to open. Now, in 1824, when it opened for the first time, the dome was half the size of the one above us. The old dome was copper, so it was green on the outside, and there was an oculus or a skylight in the middle of the dome. Right? It measured 96 feet from the floor to the skylight. That's the same distance found between the doors here, 96 feet. Right? It's actually a room designed after the Pantheon in Rome. If any of you have ever traveled to Rome, that's one of the more historic buildings there. Now, the Rotunda's dome is 9 million pounds of cast iron. Again, it is the second dome over the room, and it's beautifully decorated. The ceiling here painted by an Italian, Constantino Bromidi. He's actually half Italian, half Greek. Now, it is fresco. That's paint applied to wet plaster. Now, take a look below the windows. That painting there is made to look like a carving. It's called America in History, and it shows us from Columbus to the Wright brothers. They're sailing ships to airships. At night, it really takes on the look of sculpture. It's amazing. Yeah. But the oldest paintings in the room are the 4 Revolutionary War scenes here on the west wall. Over here we have the Declaration of Independence being presented. Now the next painting down is a surrender at the Battle of Saratoga, New York. General Burgoyne surrendering to General Horatio Gates. The last major battle was at Yorktown, Virginia, and this is the surrender of Lord Cornwallis at Yorktown. Washington's on the brown horse backed by the American flag. Okay, the explorers and settlers on the opposite side of the room. Hernando de Soto explored the Mississippi. Here he is on horseback at the lower Mississippi River. Christopher Columbus in the Bahamas by John Vanderlyn. Then we have the Pilgrim's embarkation from Holland. And finally, Pocahontas at her baptism in Jamestown, Virginia. Let's go take a look at King Kamehameha back here. I'm sure it'll be familiar to you guys. I guess he was estimated to have been between 6'8" and 7'4", nobody measured him.
The U.S. Capitol is certainly one of, if not the most interesting building in America. We're going to meet Representative Abercrombie and then Senator Akaka.
Everybody's up and coming off of Mauna Kea or up. Come in. Oh, wonderful. Great to see you. Yes, indeed. Aloha. Aloha. And I saw people looking around the room. The 5,000-mile commute is a long, long commute. So I try to surround myself a little bit with things that remind me of Hawaii. The first one, of course, is Franco Salmiagi's very famous picture of Waipio Valley. That may be the most famous photograph, I guess, in Hawaii's history. It's a beautiful, beautiful photograph. And then the big picture there was taken by a guy named Jack Boucher, who was the official photographer for the Department of the Interior when they were doing restoration work at Kalapapa. And I was so struck by the beauty, the solemn, almost the solemn grandeur of that scene, that I keep it there to remind myself, if I'm here late at night, which I am a lot because of the 6-hour time difference, of course. I do a lot of my work between 10 and 12 at night here, many nights. to remind myself if I ever get a little twinge of feeling sorry for myself or thinking that I'm, you know, what great sacrifices I'm making and so on. It reminds me very, very quickly that it's a privilege and that I don't even know what sacrifice is all about. These two photographs here, they're one's from the Sea Dream series, Wayne Levin.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that gorgeous? And he's, as you can see, an undersea photographer. Those are all underwater shots. That's Wayne below those surfers, shooting up through them, through the water to the sky above. That particular photo in the middle there with the little outrigger is about 110 years old. The one on the left is of the Alawa. You can see how that was really a swamp 100 years ago. And then over here is about 70 years ago, and you can see the Halekulani and of course, the Royal Hawaiian and Kalakaua Avenue. That's Speaker O'Neill, Tip O'Neill. I was the last person. You remember I was elected first in 1986 when I won and lost on the same day, right? Yeah. Remember I won C. Seftel when C. Seftel resigned to run for governor. So I won the unexpired term, but I lost the primary on the same day. So I came up for a short time in 1986, so I was the last person sworn in by Speaker O'Neill before he retired. So we were always good friends. In fact, he says here, you know, the last man that I swore in when I was Speaker, you know, thanks for being. This was taken just before he died, at his last birthday. And we were pals. He was a great man. This here is the original invitation to Franklin Roosevelt's first inaugural. You know, don't be concerned or worried when people say, oh, the Social Security fund's disappearing. It's not disappearing. The economy of the country is more sound than it's ever been. What we want to do is pay down, with the surplus, pay down, further down on the debt. And what we don't have to pay in interest now, we'll put that in a savings account, in this instance in Social Security. For the simple reason, there's going to be more people drawing on it for a period of time than there are people putting in. In other words, the number of people putting money into Social Security will diminish. The number of people taking Social Security is going to expand for a while. And that's when they were always talking about, oh, the debt, it's the Democrats, you know, they're running up the national debt. Well, the debt is going down now. It's been going down since 1993. For 6 years, it's been going down. If you get a surplus, if you got extra money, the smartest thing you can do is pay down your debt. I think, when you're up there in the trillions, start running that down, because when you start running the debt down by the billions, then your interest, what you pay in interest, also starts dropping. Sure, what do you think they're running the stock market up for? Look, the stock market says nothing but more than you know, people in fancy suits gambling. They gamble in New York City instead of Las Vegas. But that's all it is. And the reason it's run up so high is that the money people, the big money people, know perfectly well, despite all the propaganda to the contrary, the economy is more sound now than it's ever been before, because we have the debt under control. If your debt's under control, everything depends on your ability to pay. And they look at the fundamental stability of the United States and its economy, and they realize, hey, we're way ahead. Our ability to pay is way higher than what our debt is and what our deficit is. Nobody's even close to us in the rest of the world. Not even close. Yes, I hope you all had a wonderful time while you're here. You all look pretty cheery.
Thank you.
Wait, make another.
All right, I'll just fan.
Designated cameraman.
Give it one shaka.
Yay! All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. You'll have to see the National Committee for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Things like that. It's been lots of fun.
Somebody's camera here.
Yeah, it's mine, I'll get it.
Really, you're having a good time here, Neil.
Yeah, in the mornings. One more? Okay.
That's quite a desk.
Nice to see you. It's quite a mess. Sorry, Dad.
Well, I'm sure it's always. And just across the street, we had a nice meeting with Senator Akaka. It was a nice photo op and a friendly chat and a chance to talk about some issues.
And our school's got to hustle to get our kids
Yeah, that's
to be
number
able
one.
to get into the technology aid.
There was an article in the paper today. Always there's articles about education and the need for more federal support
That's
for
right.
education.
Well, that's true. the states are depending on the federal government more and more because they can't really afford to support the schools.
And the federal government can set standards and do research,
Yes,
develop curriculums, teacher training.
yes.
The president is very big on that.
And we need more teachers, and we're running out of teachers.
That's for sure.
yeah.
There's a whole generation is about to retire.
Yes, that's
It
right.
happens every 10 years, I guess, and
gotta-
it's happening now.
Yes.
So that's number one. Right. So obviously that's an important issue for you from
Yes,
the Department of
well-
Education.
Well, I thought I was able to help education while I was there, but I find I can do more of that here,
Good.
in helping education for our country.
We're counting on you.
Yeah, well, glad to be here to do that.
All right. Great. Well, thanks
Wow.
again so much. So it's
Make us
really
look
been a
good.
pleasure to
Yeah.
spend time with you here in the Hart Building in the Capitol. Really appreciate your
Yes.
time. What a great guy. Really. You can see why he's so popular with his colleagues. A wonderful person. Yeah, he's got the Hawaiian warmth.
Yeah.
It's time for dinner. Many choices in Washington, but in this case, let's hop in the metro and go a few stops up to DuPont Circle to Badusi, a terrific restaurant. Get ready for a mouth-watering experience.
Capital B small e, capital D small u, capital C small I stands for below DuPont Circle. I got the idea from Tribeca in New York.
Oh, yeah. So you're only, how close to DuPont Circle?
We are 2 blocks from DuPont Circle.
Very convenient.
We were the first Mediterranean restaurant in Washington in 1993. It's Mediterranean without being Middle East, that comprise a little bit of Greek, a lot of Italian, a lot of French, a little of Spanish, and North African cuisines. Our chef is from Morocco, and I worked with him since 1984. My partner is from America. I'm a French Basque who grew up in North Africa.
And you've got fresh pasta, too.
We have fresh pasta. We have ostrich. We have baby squid, baby octopus, fresh. Our food is the freshest available.
And duck, too. I had the duck with fettuccine. It was wonderful.
We have duck, several ways. We have duck, stewed duck, we have duck with pasta, and we have a breast of duck.
But we do get Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, Janet Reno's been here, some Hollywood types. Clinton hasn't come in yet, but
Not
we're
yet.
waiting. We're waiting for that. So
you get senators and...
oh, yes. Any good restaurant in Washington attracts, Capitol Hill.
And here comes a leg of lamb with couscous, Moroccan style. And we'll show you some more restaurants in Washington in a later episode of World Traveler, so stay tuned. You like this restaurant?
Very much, yes.
And you live in the neighborhood.
Yes, we do. I like the managers, and I like the food, and I like the ambiance.
And we keep on coming back. And the lady is a very, very nice woman. She really is. And I like that place because it's friendly.